I'm Corbett Wall with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Friday, May the 24th, brought to you in part by Toromox by Norbrook. Toromox runs parasites out of town. Use Toromox to treat gastrointestinal roundworms, lungworms, cattle grubs, mites, and lice. Plus, Toromox is proven to effectively protect cattle from reinfection. For more information, go to norbrook.com. Record breaker, and normally when you say record breaker, you don't ask it as a question. In this instance, I'm talking about record breaker with a double meaning. Very well could have a record-breaking high fat cattle market here for this week. We're waiting to see. The market was just kind of coming together. I'm thinking that's probably not going to quite make it for a weighted average on live, but it probably is going to be an all-time record breaker on dressed. Our highest price on a live weighted average for steers was $189.52, and that was in late March. And your dressed that week was $301.99. I think we'll break the dressed, but I don't think we will break the live. But another thing is something going to break our record. Break it as in keep it from happening. Of course, you got things lined up against the market all the time. The thing that scares me probably the worst is how bullishly estimated the cattle on feed report is. Now, I'm all about estimating something to come out good, but whoa, they have really got this cattle on feed report estimated to be really bullish. So that means it's going to be hard to hit. And it always leaves us susceptible to having one that looks bearish when it's really not. But your cattle on feed report, your average, your analyst guess for the May 1st inventories, they've got it guessed at 99.1. They've got, and that doesn't scare me. Placements for May, they've got it 94.4. But the marketings, and I know we had 2 more days, but I mean, this slaughter has been dismal. I mean, they've got these chain speeds slow way down, but they've got the marketings for April at 109.8. 10% more than the same time a year ago. I don't know. It just seems really bullish. I hope it comes out way better than that, but it's just something that could knock us off track here. Of course, everybody's saying that the board's overbought now because we had several days of a higher board. It didn't really react positively on Thursday. We're unsure about what's going to happen on Friday. Your packers are getting some cattle bought and paying all-time record high prices. $193 was paid by regionals for fat cattle, for the best fat cattle. We haven't seen that before, but they're still kind of just waiting back. We saw more trade happen than what I'm going to tell you about after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But a lot of your big 4 packers waiting and hoping for the board to crash, of course, on Friday, so that they could clean up the cattle at the same price that they bought them last week. But so far, we haven't sold any cattle steady with last week. We've been selling cattle higher. So we'll see what happens here. Of course, the media keeps stirring about saying that they found another dairy worker in Michigan that supposedly contracted bird flu. The hell of it is that dairy worker got better before they could make a big deal out of it. So that's not working. But we're just looking to see what our all-time record high status is. Like I said, I don't think we'll make the 189.52 on our live weighted average steer, but I do think we'll beat the 301.99 on dress steers. But I want to tell you that I'm officially over the hill now. I mean, over the hill, meaning that I've got my life's work, a lot of it done. I raised my 3 daughters. My youngest one is going to graduate here on Friday. So we're having a little get-together for that. Very excited. Channing, or as I will always call her, Chuggy, has been such a treat to us. Kind of a surprise, and ended up being such a blessing. She'd never any trouble at all. And reached some levels and a lot of things that we had never seen before in our family. So We're really excited about Channing's graduation here. So we're celebrating that here in the Wall family here this weekend. And then we've got Memorial Day coming up. I hope you guys have a great Memorial Day weekend. You know, get out, grill with your family and friends, enjoy it. Remember why we have that holiday, remembering those that came before us, especially those that served in the military. But let's look at your board on Thursday. June live cattle down 65 cents at 183.52 when we're trading cattle at 192. That's just when the board doesn't abide by cash, that just pisses me off. Why do we even have it when it comes to fruit or it matures and it's nowhere near where it's supposed to be? Average or August cattle down 60 at 181.07. Your back months were all down, not that much, from 15 cents to 57 cents. May feeder cattle down a nickel is all at 250.32. Your real-time index was higher on Thursday after Thursday's sales, a little bit higher than that. CME cash feeder cattle index is always behind. It's a little bit lower than that. But at least your May feeder cattle is where it's supposed to be. That cash settled contract will always meet up with CME cash feeder cattle index, and makes me think, you know, what the heck, might as well do that. The delivery process on live cattle contracts is kind of screwed up anyway, so why not do them? Because they know, just like we know, that there's not going to be a competitive established market that much longer, so they're going to run into problems again. August feeder cattle down 145 at 261.45. Your back months were unchanged to down 102. July corn up 2 3/4 cents at 464 bushel. Beans down 7 cents at 12.39 1/4. Kansas City hard red winter wheat was up 11 1/4 cents at 7.10 3/4. Talk about your fat cattle trade. Iowa, we didn't see a lot of trade before 2 o'clock, but I got a lot of texts about stuff that was going on right around that time. And of course, your packers were a little lax on getting that information turned into mandatory price reporting. So a lot of the stuff that was happening between lunch and 2 o'clock probably didn't make it in there. I heard of more cattle that sold than they had reported out of Iowa. Only 1,200 for Thursday, only 2,900 for the week. Live price at 192. And that's going to be higher. That was the extreme top of last week's spread. And your dress trade at 302. I heard of several cattle in Iowa that sold at 304 and 193. So we didn't see that in our report that come out for Thursday. Nebraska, 1,000 head on Thursday morning, or up to before 2 o'clock. 1,900 head for the week, and the same price as Iowa, 192 and 302. Kansas, 6,300. It's kind of unusual when we see Kansas sell more cattle than anywhere else. 8,300 for the week, but a lot of negotiated grid cattle, almost 10,000 negotiated grid cattle turned in, which for the most part there's not any negotiating on that. But on the negotiated live price, 187 up to 192. And I tell you, we're just starting to see almost every week they're getting some northern Kansas cattle sell right along with the northern plains market. It increased the weighted average for all classes of fat cattle in Kansas at 187.51 when southwest Kansas was all 187, so it's kind of a double market there. Texas, 1,100 head negotiated, confirmed on Thursday, 1,300 for the week, all at 187. On the Fed Cattle Exchange online bidding platform, they did sell cattle on Thursday, bid the grid, and they were beef on dairy cattle at 188 1/4 in Texas. Box beef cutout values lower on choice again, just can't seem to hold those levels, but select was back over $300. But choice cuts on Thursday afternoon, 309.84, down 233. Selects up 47 cents at $300.08. Your slaughter come in for the first 4 days of the week, 486,000. That's just 1,000 less than last week, but it's 14,000 less than the same week a year ago. Actual slaughter information come back for the week ending May the 11th. Had your average dressed steer carcass weighed at 923 pounds. That's the same as the previous report, 32 pounds bigger than the same report a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. Livestock Risk Services are your LRP specialists. That's Dakota Moss and these very capable agents that you see here listed with him. They're in and around the edge of Oklahoma there, but they can help you anywhere you're at. You know, what are you waiting for here if you haven't locked in your price here? We've seen these out front feeder cattle contracts get really high up there, guys. I sure think you'd want to get those locked in. But if you don't know what you're waiting for, give them a call. Livestock Risk Services, one of these agents. Visit with them, see what they're thinking, see where a good place to find that strike price would be. You can get on their website, which is more interactive now. It's livestockriskservices.com. You can get on there, fill out an application right online. That way, when you decide to do something, I mean, you can do it right now. You can also look on there, play with it. They've got a quoter on there that Dakota Moss has named, and you can put, you know, how many cattle you got in there, whether they're steers or heifers, the weights you're looking at when you're looking at selling them. You can see where you can lock them in and see what it's going to cost you guys. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DVAuction late in the afternoon on Thursday sitting at 250.58. That's pretty smoky, guys. That's for cash auction steers averaging 800 pounds up through your middle 12 states. That was up another $1.34 on Thursday. Been up every day this week. Latest CME cash feeder cattle index lagging behind at 248.81. Talk about your big sales that happened on Thursday. Didn't have any real big smokers, but Winter Livestock in Pratt, Kansas had 2,400 head. Pretty decent run in most people's ideas, but the Federal State Market Reporter said there wasn't enough cattle of any kind to really test the market, maybe a higher undertone. Well, it's funny to me. I looked through there and I found about 10 loads of yearling steers in there. Still not enough to test? Really? We quote trends on markets all over the country that can't even scrape together a load of the same kind. But look at all these cattle right here. I looked on your Cattle Market Central Automated Market Report. Looked like your best tested weights of 8 and 9 weight steers were sure $2 higher there. But good sale there in Pratt. How about go straight north from there? Farmers and Ranchers Livestock in Salina, Kansas. Hey, they're already on wheat harvest break. This is the last Thursday sale they're going to have till July 11th. Of course, they have a cow and bull sale earlier in the week, every week, and a lot of times they start getting good feeder cattle runs on those whenever they have the Thursday sale shut down. But Farmers and Ranchers in Salina had 2,100. What do you know? The market reporter there found a way to call a market there, and he called them $5 to $10 higher, and I wouldn't disagree with that at all, including this load of thin-fleshed heifers. 65 of them weighed 810 pounds at $249 for feeder heifer, guys, and I thought that was pretty good. How about your NationalBeefWire stick-out sale of the day? It was Stockman's Livestock Exchange in Dickinson, North Dakota. About 3,000 head on offer. They was having a back to grass special there. You notice how much later they're back to grass. We've been back to grass quite a while down in the Flint Hills, the Osage, and other turnout areas further south. But look at your best tested weights. How about 187 head of 5 weight steers, average 551 at 341.62. 628 head of 6 weight steers, average 649 at 316.50 weighted average on all of them. How about the heifers? 260 head of 5 weight heifers, average 554 at $300.02. That's pretty smoky for a over 5.5 weight heifer on the weighted average, guys. And then 823 head of 6 weight heifers, average 638 at $283.32. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Thursday, and your Macrocin no BS top quote to the day, for the day, it was brought to attention to me by my good buddy Jay Romine, who auctioneers for Bluegrass Stockyards and does a hell of a job at Bluegrass Stockyards South in Stanford, Kentucky. In the ring, boys, in Stanford, Kentucky, they sell 2 loads, 120 head, 923 pound feeder steers at $247.90. And that's your feeder flash for Friday.